everybody, another day, another dollar. Today is Wednesday, October 28th, and these are the top 5 things to know today on Wall Street. Let's kick it off with number 1. Stocks are set for a sharply lower open this morning, with traders reducing their exposure to riskier assets given the renewed spike in COVID-19 cases across the world. The U.S. has reported record numbers of infections in recent days, while in Europe, cases have been spreading rapidly, leading several countries across the region, such as Germany and France, to reconsider imposing emergency lockdown measures. The Dow futures were pointing to a drop of about 400 points. Futures on the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ were also indicating a negative Wednesday start for the two indices, with both set to drop around 1%. The pre-market moves come one day after stocks ended mostly lower on Tuesday, while the VIX jumped to its highest level since early September. We see that uncertainty over next week's U.S. presidential elections is also adding to the risk-off mood. Democratic candidate Joe Biden still maintains a sizable lead over President Trump in national polls, although the gap has been narrowing slightly in recent days, especially in key swing states such as Florida, Wisconsin, and Michigan. Just a heads up, folks, I highlighted 3 stocks you should own heading into next week's election for my new Wednesday post. The 3 names covered should do well regardless of the outcome, so go check that out on Investing.com later on. On to number 3. It's a big day for earnings as the busiest week of the Q3 reporting season continues. We get a host of companies across several sectors reporting results today. Some of the most notable names due ahead of the opening bell include Boeing, UPS, General Electric, and MasterCard. So head over to Investing.com's earnings calendar to catch those when they come out. On to number 3. Let's stay on the earnings front. We get a number of key reports after the bell this afternoon. Most of the focus will be on tech names such as Pinterest, which I highlighted as my stock of the week on Sunday, as well as Fastly, eBay, and Teladoc. Gilead Science, which last week won FDA approval for the use of its remdesivir drug as a treatment against the coronavirus, is also on the agenda for after the close today. In addition to those names, results are also due from Visa and Ford. On to number 4. Besides earnings, the other main event of the day will take place when the CEOs of Facebook, Twitter, and Google parent Alphabet testify at a hearing of the Senate Commerce Committee. The hearings will focus on on their liability protections for user content under Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act. For the most part, Facebook's Mark Zuckerberg, Twitter's Jack Dorsey, and Sundar Pichai of Google are all scheduled to answer questions from lawmakers. So keep an eye on those developments to see if there's anything of newsworthy which could obviously sway sentiment and impact these stock prices. Just a heads up, Facebook reports earnings after the bell on Thursday, along with Twitter and Google parent Alphabet. So those 3 names are expected to be in the news for the next 24 to 48 hours at least. And finally, number 5, we also get weekly U.S. government oil stockpile data today, and expectations are that it will report a gain of around 1.2 million barrels of crude stocks. If confirmed, it would mark the first weekly increase in 3. We saw on Tuesday night data from the American Petroleum Institute showed that U.S. crude inventories actually rose by 4.5 million barrels last week. U.S. WTI crude futures were down by more than 3% ahead of the report, which is due at 10:30 a.m. Eastern time this morning. So that's it for me. Thank you for watching. For those tuning in on the podcast, thank you for listening. May the trading gods be with you. Have a good one, everybody. Stay safe and stay healthy.